admitting responsibility.
So, how is this going to impact both the region and the rest of the world? Now, we're going to discuss both this morning with Binus University International Relations lecturer, Tia Mariatul Kibtiah. Good morning, Batia. Thank you for being with us today.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
So let's just jump right into it. According to your analysis, what do you think Iran's recent retaliation against Israel, how do you feel that this is going to contribute to the overall escalation of the conflict so far in the Middle East?
Okay, this is the a surprise, yeah, because Iran usually only silence. For example, when the America was killed by a general by Iran, and then Iran only threats the America, and now it is surprise for me because Iran provide evidence that the Iran have a dignity to show the international. This is Iran. Iran cannot silence again when the, for example, America was killed by a general by Iran, and now when the Israel strike to the consulate Iran in Damascus, finally Iran only declare to attack to the Israel, but show to the international uh, we uh, we are the Iranian, and we will show this is the dignity of the Iran. And finally, Iran showed evidence how Iran cannot silence again.
Right. But yeah, Iran's mission to the United Nations said that Iran attacked in response to an Israeli airstrike against one of their diplomatic accommodation in Damascus. This seems to indicate that Iran does not plan to further strike. So what does Iran want to convey through their retaliation?
Yeah, I think it is important, yeah, for the domestic politic in Iran. You know, in many media, the Iranian and Iran people support to the government first, and the second, maybe this is the good for the Iran international politic because show about the dignity of the Iran. And then for the impact of the regional, I think, you know, around the Israel, maybe around the five countries like the Syria and then Jordan and then Egypt and then Lebanon and Iran first reminder, especially for the Jordan, don't involve to this attack. Yeah, and the countries around the Israel only silent finally, and then Iran, I think for this moment, brave to attack the Israel and retaliations about the attack from the Israel to the Damascus because Iran see because of the support of the international, especially for the Arab countries. Uh, as far we know, America tried to the request to the Gulf countries because America have the base army in Gulf countries around maybe for troops in United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, and finally Gulf countries Saudi Arabia, Oman, and then United Arab Emirates rejected of the request America to put the base army in Gulf countries because much you know the distance between the America if America support to the Israel is too far and it is hard how to America back up Israel again and again.
Indeed. And immediately following this retaliatory attack, we saw on social media, on X, that leaders of the US, UK, France, and Germany as well condemned what they called a destabilizing act for the region. So, in your opinion, do you think that this latest attack will lead to more concrete steps in creating peace for the region, or do you think it's going to do the opposite?
Yeah, I think only once launching missiles and drones from Iran to the Israel, only for the show off, yeah, of the Iran about the dignity of the Iran, and then good for the domestic politic in Iran. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure for the next for the World War III. Yeah, based on the opinion from the public. Because why? Because I have many reasons. First, because of the America consent for now for the politic domestic, and the President Biden consider about the maybe 50-50, continue and always beside Israel and focus on the domestic politic. Because why? Because Democrat Party, including the President Biden, uh, declare and maybe consider how to solve the problem without disturb the domestic politic conditions. And the second is, as just mentions, that the Arab countries not support to the America to back up the Israel and put the best army in Gulf countries. So finally, America decided and called Netanyahu. America cannot involve this moment or cannot respond and help Israel to attack Iran and respond of the strike of the Iran to the Israel areas.
But yeah, during the call on Saturday, U.S. President Joe Biden told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that the United States will not support any Israeli counterattacks. Now, what does this mean for both sides and their ties?
Okay, Mas. Before the attack or strike from Iran to the Israel, President Biden said and declared will support always beside Israel. But we can see after the attack, President Biden finally said cannot involve uh, of this conflict, and then because maybe the cost politic is very expensive, Mas, for the politic domestic, and as far we know, in America will face the elections. So this is the considerations of the America administrations, especially from the Democrat Party and President Biden, to maybe cooling down and then not involved to the request of the Israel. And as far we know, if the compare and uh, you can see between the conflict between Iran and Israel, apple to apple without the helping from the America. Israel is nothing. It's a small country, but uh, I think the conflict or tensions will finish until the launching missiles from Iran to the Israel areas. And then Israel mentions in many media because the attack of Iran is not a success without the victims. So I think Israel will not feedback and respond attack from Iran.
Right. Now, let's zoom out a little bit further as meanwhile, the Chinese Foreign Ministry has said that this attack was the latest spillover of the conflict in Gaza. They also called for the implementation of an UNSC ceasefire resolution. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that the Security Council will be able to come to terms and agree on a resolution?
Okay, this is the point. This is the point. Hopefully, next maybe this moment, all countries support to the free Palestine, especially in the UN. This moment maybe create how to free Palestine, because why? Including me, I agree with the create the two-state solution and free Palestine. And I think, especially for the China and then Russia, Germany, especially for the countries have a veto. So maybe uh, they they discuss together how to solve the problem, because to prevent the spread of this conflict in the Middle East area, it is very danger if the Israel respond to the attack of Iran, and then the allies of the Iran, for example, Russia and then China and Iran, focus on the conflict. This is very danger. So how to prevent the conflict end until the launching attack Iran to the Israel finish? Because why it's very danger. So sitting together to how to solve the problem, and then create the two-state solutions for the Palestine.
All right. So, how do you foresee the ripple effects of this conflict extending to Southeast Asia, particularly in terms of regional stability and security?
Yeah, I think for the impact to the Southeast Asia, it's too far, Asia. Because, for example, for Indonesia, the conflict between Israel and Palestine maybe only pay attentions because the similar ideology, and then maybe because the anti-colonialism based on Undang-Undang Dasar 1945. Only that. So the distance between the Middle East area and then Southeast Asia, uh, including Indonesia, is too far. How the conflict in the Middle East area influence to the Southeast Asia.
Right, but do you think there's any chance, though, that this conflict between Iran and Israel can affect any sort of domestic affairs here, particularly in Indonesia?
Yeah, I think mostly the Indonesian people support to the, in social media, support to the Iran attack to the Israel because the incident of the genocide in Palestine, especially in Gaza, and Palestinian were killed by the Israel, almost 30,000 people. This is the genocide real. So Indonesia waiting how to the UN, for example, and then all countries pay attention to this conflict. And finally, this moment used by the Iran to attack the Israel because the reason of the retaliations of the two generals, yeah, two generals of Iran were killed by the Israel in Damascus. This is the good decisions for Iran, benefit for the domestic of Iran, and good position for the international for Iran. And it's not good for Israel because in social media, for example, the people under pressure to the decision of the Israel and genocide Israel in Gaza, for example.
Right. Now, in your analysis, will Israel retaliate against Iran or hold back?
Yeah, hopefully next, maybe after launching the drones and then missiles to the Israel from Iran, I think enough until the only one strike or attack without the response uh, of the Israel, and then America have to strict of the decisions. Because why? Because Israel without America is nothing. So remember of the war in 1948, where is the Arab countries, six countries, war between Israel and Arab countries, and finally Israel almost lost because without the backup of the America. But finally, Israel as a winner because backup of America, and then maybe for this moment, America, please keep the decisions to the backup again to the Israel because all countries have to create the peace, especially in the Middle East area. And then maybe it is very important because I think it is related to the spread of the conflict in many areas. And Jordan, Egypt, Syria, and all countries around the Israel only silence and keep the decisions to maybe to become neutral because it is very important. And Saudi Arabia and the Gulf countries, whereas they are the alliance of America, rejected to the request from America to attack from to attack the Iran from the positions in their country because America have a base military in Gulf countries, especially in United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. And this is good. This is good.
Right, but yeah, we touched on it earlier in regards to the incident in 2020 where the U.S. targeted the killing of Iran's most storied general, and Tehran's response was quite similar. They launched, but they did give about 10 hours of lead time for the U.S. so that they were able to prepare. They did not target civilians. They target mostly military sites as well. And the U.S. chose not to respond at that time. However, we're talking about a different incident with different country. Could Iran's retaliation this time lead to a larger conflict because it does involve Israel?
Yeah, this is the good position. Iran see about this is the good moment to retaliations, yeah, about the attack from the Israel. Because why? Because first, under pressure from the public to the Free Palestine. For example, in UK, in the British, and then in French, in America, mostly the government supported the Israel, but different with the public. And Iran see about this. So this is the moment how Iran show off to the international, and they declare have two reasons. First, because the dignity, because the two generals were killed by the Israel in Damascus, and then the second, because the support for the Palestine, because the genocide in Palestine by the Israeli. So this is the good moment for Iran, and good decisions. How Iran have decisions to attack the Israel, because the public and all countries not support to the Netanyahu policy. And finally, maybe after this, Iran good relations for the last time, and open diplomatic relations with the Saudi Arabia, and then Iran have a good support from the Arab countries. And Iran, I see this moment is match to launch the attack to the Israel.
Yeah, it seems to me that they're engaging according to the rules of the playbook, so to speak. But yeah, thank you so much for your time and for your
Yeah,
insights in regards to
welcome.
this latest matter. We do appreciate it, and we hope that you have a great morning. Thank you so much
Good
once
morning.
again.
Thank you. All right, we're set for a commercial break.
Okay.
When we return, we'll bring you the world headlines here on C Morning Show.